There are some things people believe about retirement that sound completely reasonable, logical even. And because they sound right, nobody really questions them. They just quietly plan around them until reality hits. Today, we're busting 5 of the most common retirement myths that can seriously derail your financial future. Some of these might surprise you. And honestly, you've probably believed at least one of them yourself. Let's get into it. Quick note before we start. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, CPA, or attorney, and this isn't financial, legal, or tax advice. The full disclaimer is in the description. All right, myth number 1. I'm too young to start saving for retirement. This one is everywhere, especially in your 20s and early 30s. Retirement feels like it belongs to a future version of you. Right now, you've got student loans, rent, maybe a car payment. Retirement can wait, but here's the truth. Waiting is one of the most expensive financial decisions you can make, and the numbers back it up. According to a 2024 TIAA survey, only 20% of Gen Z is actively saving for retirement. That means 8 out of 10 young adults are sitting on the sidelines during the years that matter most. And those early years are powerful for one reason: compound growth, earning returns on top of returns over time. Here's a real example. If you invest $200 a month starting at age 25, with a 7% average annual return, you end up with roughly $525,000 by age 65. But if you wait until 35 to start that same $200 a month, you end up with about $243,000. Same monthly contribution, same return. That 10-year delay costs you over $280,000. The myth says you have time. The math says time is the whole point. Myth number 2. I'll just work longer if I need more money. On paper, it sounds like a solid backup plan. If savings fall short, just stay on the job a few more years. Simple. Except life rarely cooperates. According to the 2024 Retirement Confidence Survey from the Employee Benefit Research Institute, about half of all retirees say they left the workforce earlier than they planned, and nearly 7 out of 10 of those early retirees say it wasn't their choice. The reasons? Health problems, job loss, company downsizing, or needing to care for a family member. The Federal Reserve's 2024 data lines up with that too. It shows 42% of retirees cite health issues, lack of available work, or family caregiving as factors in when they actually retired. So, I'll work longer is really a plan that depends on things you can't control. Your body, your employer, the economy, your family. That's not a plan, that's a wish. The real plan is building enough flexibility early, so if life forces your hand, you're protected, not scrambling. Myth number 3. My expenses will automatically go down when I retire. This one feels intuitive. No more commuting, no more work clothes, no more lunches out with coworkers. So spending must drop, right? Not necessarily. And for a lot of retirees, it actually goes the other way. Think about what retirement really looks like. You suddenly have 40 plus hours a week that used to belong to your job, and that time gets filled with something. Travel, hobbies, home projects, dining out more, visiting family, and all of it costs money. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, households age 65 and older spent an average of $61,432 in 2024. And that doesn't include the wild card that tends to grow as you age: healthcare. A 65-year-old couple with average prescription drug expenses would need about $366,000 saved just to have a 90% chance of covering healthcare costs in retirement, according to a 2024 study by the Employee Benefit Research Institute. For couples with higher drug costs, that number climbs to about $428,000. Most financial planners suggest planning to spend around 70 to 80% of your pre-retirement income each year in retirement. And some people spend more, especially early on when they're active and healthy. So the myth assumes retirement is a cost savings event. The reality is it's a spending shift, not always a spending drop. Myth number 4. Social Security will cover what I need. This is one of the most dangerous myths because it leads people to undersave for decades based on a number that was never meant to replace your full income. Here's where things stand. The average monthly Social Security benefit for retired workers in early 2026 is about $2,071. That's roughly $24,852 a year. For a lot of Americans, that's the primary income source in retirement. But the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows households 65 and older are spending over $61,000 a year on average. That's a gap of about $36,000 a year that Social Security doesn't cover every single year. And just to be clear, Social Security was never designed to be your only income. It's meant to be a foundation, a supplement to personal savings, not the whole structure. On top of that, there are real questions about the program's long-term funding. Current projections show that if Congress takes no action, the trust fund could cover about 81% of promised benefits starting around 2034. That's not a reason to panic, but it is a reason not to bet everything on one source. The smart move is treating Social Security as one piece of the bigger picture, not the whole picture. Myth number 5. Taxes will be lower in retirement, so I don't need to worry about them now. A lot of people assume retirement automatically means a lower tax bill. You're not working, income is lower, so taxes must go down. But that falls apart fast if you've saved a lot in a traditional 401k or IRA. Here's why. Every dollar you put into those accounts went in pre-tax, which felt great while you were working. But those accounts aren't tax-free, they're tax-deferred. The IRS has been patiently waiting, and when you start pulling money out in retirement, those withdrawals count as ordinary taxable income. And at age 73, the IRS doesn't even wait for you to decide. Required minimum distributions kick in, forcing withdrawals from pre-tax accounts whether you need the money or not. That can push you into a higher tax bracket than you expected, and it can even affect how much of your Social Security benefit gets taxed. Plus, there's no guarantee tax rates stay where they are today. If rates rise in the future, which many economists see as a realistic possibility given the national debt, you'd be paying those higher rates on decades of tax-deferred savings. This is why tax diversification matters. Having money spread across pre-tax accounts like a traditional 401k, tax-free accounts like a Roth IRA, and regular taxable brokerage accounts. When you have all three, you get flexibility to manage your taxes in retirement, instead of just accepting whatever bracket your withdrawals land you in. Taxes in retirement aren't gone. They're just different. And planning for that difference early is one of the most powerful moves you can make. All right, let's bring it all together. The 5 myths we busted today. Myth 1, you're too young. Truth. The earlier you start, the more compounding works for you. Myth 2, you'll just work longer. Truth, most people retire earlier than planned and often not by choice. Myth 3, expenses will drop. Truth, retirement often shifts spending. It doesn't always shrink it. Myth 4, Social Security will cover it. Truth, the average benefit leaves a big gap every year. Myth 5, taxes will be lower. Truth, if you saved pre-tax, the IRS is still waiting for their cut. The common thread is simple. These myths give people permission to delay, assume, or underplan. And retirement doesn't reward any of those things. It rewards intention, preparation, and starting before it feels urgent. If this video helped you see something differently, hit that like button. It really does help this channel reach more people who need to hear this. And check out the other videos on this channel on funding your retirement accounts in the right order, how Roth IRAs work, and common retirement mistakes. They're linked in the description. Now, if you're serious about building a real path to financial independence and retiring on your terms, I wrote a book that goes way deeper than any single video can. It's called FIRE Movement: Stop Trading Time for Money and Build Freedom. It's a practical guide and workbook to financial independence and retiring early. Inside, you'll find a clear FIRE path, worksheets to map out your numbers, and real-world scripts for things like asking for a raise or talking about money without freezing up. Plus tools to cut debt, trim your budget, and build a plan you'll actually follow. If you're ready to get started, scan the QR code on screen or hit the link in the description, and drop a comment below. Which one of these myths did you used to believe? Thanks for your time, everyone.